Today, we're looking at Diamine Orange. Hi, I'm Adam, and I'm an ink guy. I get inks, test them, and share the results with you. Now, Diamine Orange is an orange ink. And to make sure I have a range of experience with this ink, I do the writing samples. I put the ink into a different pen for a day. I then put it into a Pierre Cardin President with a medium nib to take my notes for this video. But before we look at the writing samples, let's look at the sciencey bits. Up first is the chromatography, and I agree with Vita that I've learned a lot by doing multiple chromatographies. The one on the left is done the way it's supposed to be done. I put a line of ink down, immediately put it in the water for 10 to 15 seconds. And we see that this orange starts out with a very light pink that pushes its way up, and then we get this yellow at the very top. Now the one on the right, I let dry for 10 minutes before I dunk it into water. And the major difference I'm seeing between the two of them is the pink at the bottom is a bit darker, and it's all much more blended as it pushes up. It's not all pushing away super fast from the water. Resistance tests are done to see how this ink can be expected to perform on the page, and more importantly, how hard it is to clean from your pens. Now I let the smear dry for 3 days before testing it. Looking at the highlighter, it handles it very well. It does go from an extra fine to about a fine medium in its writing, but it's completely readable and it's not blown out. Makes me feel safe to use this in a note-taking environment. Water is reactivating and lifting almost all the ink off the page. There is plenty left behind, but we're starting to see the white of the paper, and we easily see the dots of the Rhodia dot pad, although we can see some of the dots through the ink itself. Pen flush does everything that water does, a little more extreme. We definitely see much more of the white of the paper start coming through, but I still believe that water is all that would be needed to remove this from your pen. Now 1/3 bleach solution obliterates it, as would be expected, but you should not need to use a 1/3 bleach solution to get this out of your pen. For the inks I've tested, I've found an average viscosity of 2.5, with the realm of normal being from 2.1 to 2.9. Diamine Orange has a viscosity of 3.25, making this a very dry ink. Very dry. To find my average dry times, I use my writing samples done on Clairefontaine, Tomoe River, and Rhodia paper with the extra fine and medium nib. For the inks I've tested, I've found an average dry time of 17 seconds, with the realm of normal being from 13 to 21 seconds. Diamine Orange has an average dry time of 14 seconds, so being a very dry ink, it still takes a normal amount of time to dry. Now let's look at the writing samples. I picked this ink up in sample form, and wow, is this a great orange. To keep my writing samples consistent, I use a Jinhao 159 with a Goulet 1.1 stub, a Jinhao X 450 with a Goulet medium, and a Jinhao X 750 with a Goulet extra fine. Let's take a look at Clairefontaine. We get no bleeding, no ghosting. The 1.1, look at that color. Just wow, that is an energetic color. That is just invigorating to look at. The 1.1 is no feather, spread, halo, sheen, or shade. The extra fine is the exact same tone, with no feather, spread, halo, sheen, or shade in 9 seconds to dry. Now the medium is the exact same tone as the extra fine and the 1.1, with no feather, spread, halo, sheen, or shade, 13 seconds to dry. The Scrubby showed us no color variation. We didn't expect it, we didn't get it. In a smear test, you could probably recover it. This is a boring ink. This is absolutely predictable in the color it's going to give you on just about any nib, on just about any paper. It is fantastic. Boring is predictable, and this boring is beautiful. Look at the color change. Nothing. It's amazing. Oh my God, Tomoe River. No bleeding, very minor ghosting. Really, minor ghosting. Look at that. Alright, on the white background is more, but you know, I would use the back of the page for this, and I am super picky about that stuff. The 1.1 has the exact same tone that we saw with the Clairefontaine, with no feather, spread, halo, sheen, or shade. It is just, oh man, look at that.
The extra fine, no feather, spread, halo, sheen, no shade, 16 seconds to dry. It's the exact same tone as the 1.1. It's the exact same tone as the medium. The medium has no feather, spread, halo, sheen, or shade. Took 21 seconds to dry. So worth it. This doesn't hurt your eyes to read it as a bright ink. It is great. Looking at the Scrubby has no color variation. We didn't expect any. We didn't get any. The smear test, I don't think you could recover it if you smeared while you were writing. Rhodia, no bleeding, no ghosting. The 1.1 has no feather, spread, halo, sheen, or shade. Just an amazing orange. Amazing. The extra fine has the exact same tone as the 1.1. It has no feather, spread, halo, sheen, no shade. Very nice. 11 seconds to dry. The medium has the exact same tone as the extra fine, with no feather, spread, halo, sheen, or shade, and 13 seconds to dry. Now the Scrubby for the extra fine and the medium show us no color variation, and we didn't get any. And the smear test, you could probably recover it if you smeared while you were writing. So yellow Rhodia, how does that yellow tone paper affect the color of the ink? Well, we get no bleeding and no ghosting. This has been a super vibrant, super good ink the whole way. And the tones are exactly the same. That means this is a very opaque, very strong dyes in this ink. Nice. The 1.1 has no feather, spread, halo, sheen, or shade. The extra fine is the exact same tone that we see with the 1.1. It's the exact same tone we saw in the white Rhodia. It has no feather, spread, halo, sheen, or shade. It took 11 seconds to dry. Now the medium is the exact same tone that we've seen this entire time, and with the extra fine and then 1.1 on this paper. It has no feather, spread, halo, sheen, no shade, 14 seconds to dry. The Scrubby for both show us no color variation. We didn't expect it. We didn't get it in the smear test. You could probably recover if you smeared while you were writing. Look at that. Still goes to gray. Nothing. What a great... I'm going to get the definition of boring changed. Because look at that. My goodness. White lines paper. White lines paper. The 1.1 at the top has some bleed spots. There are some shade. The bleed spots that occurred did not get all the way through. They didn't touch the page underneath. They would not stop you from using the back of the page. But this paper is not even made for you to use the back. There's no lines on the back, only on the front. And you don't even see the lines on camera. That's why it's nice. The 1.1 is no feather, spread, halo, sheen, no shade. The extra fine is the exact same tone that we've seen the whole time. This has been the most boring ink I have come across, and it is so incredibly predictable in its amazing color. Just wow. The extra fine, no feather, spread, halo, sheen, no shade, 1 second to dry. Amazing. The medium has the exact same tone as the extra fine. It has no feather, spread, halo, sheen, or shade. 1 second to dry. Now the Scrubby for both show us no color variation. We didn't get any color variation. Interestingly, on the smear test, the extra fine did not smear at all. And the medium smeared, but you could definitely recover it. Original Crown Mill paper. This is a laid paper. It's very nice to write in correspondence with. We get no bleeding. We get no ghosting. We get a very boring, same exact orange. The 1.1 gives no feather, spread, halo, sheen, or shade. Wow. The extra fine has no feather, spread, halo, sheen, no shade, 4 seconds to dry. Same exact tone. It's great. The medium is the same exact tone. It looks slightly darker. It's just the thicker lines. But it is the same. If I fold that paper over and look at it, it's the same. Focus. Come on, camera. You can do it. There we go. It's the exact same tone. That's the medium and the extra fine touching. The exact same tone. Beautiful stuff. Wow, that was loud, and I apologize. The ink is invigorating. It really makes you energetic. It's like, a double shot of caffeine just to look at it. The 1.1 gives no feather, spread, halo, sheen, no shade. The extra fine is the exact same tone with no feather, spread, halo, sheen, or shade. 4 seconds to dry. Just wow. The medium is the exact same tone, no feather spread, halo sheen, no shade, 7 seconds to dry. Now the Scrubby of the extra fine and the medium shows no color variation. We didn't expect it, we didn't get it. But the smear test, I don't think you could recover if you smeared while you were writing, and I'm sorry, but that's how it is. And that is all that I have for the writing sample.
Instead of finding inks that look like Diamine's Orange, I would prefer to find an ink that complements its color on the page. Now, being a very bright ink, I wanted a very dark ink. I chose Private Reserve's Velvet Black. Before I give my opinion on this ink, I would ask, if you've enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up. And if it's your first time here, I would invite you to subscribe. So what do I think of Diamine's Orange? This is a super vibrant orange on the page. It's nice. It's not painful on the eyes. There's no shading, which a lot of oranges have some very good shading. So the thing is, if you really don't care about shading and you do like orange inks, this is a great orange ink to use, especially for those of you that like using gushers of pens, because a lot of times those super wet pens don't have as much shading in their writing. Plus, using a wet pen will help compensate for this being a drier ink. Thanks for watching.